Hello everybody, it's Rob back again with another video. How are you? I haven't done a video for ages, and as you can see, it's not a video of me, it's my screen, and so I am going to do a Photoshop video. I haven't done Photoshop stuff for ages and ages, and I thought it was about time I'd done one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go straight into it. This is a video to improve the look of your time-lapse videos. Everyone loves a good time-lapse. And I've got one here that isn't the best, but it's good to demonstrate what I'm going to show you. So this is the time lapse I've got. This is from the Isle of Wight, and it does look a bit glitchy because I'm recording. It is nice and smooth, I promise, when you play it. It's only a 9-second clip, but as you can see, it's got the clouds moving. It's not the perfect exposure or anything. It's a bit overexposed over there, but that is okay for this demonstration. So on the best time lapses that you see online, you see them taken with usually a high-end camera and what's called a motorized slider. So you're getting the motion not just from the time lapse, but the actual screen itself is moving as the camera moves along the slider. And we can actually fake that in Photoshop. So let's open Photoshop, and it's very quick and simple. Let's just go into Photoshop, and as you can see, I've got this open already. So let's just shut this down. Let's just close this, and then we can go from the beginning. So let's not save that one. So I'm going to start from the beginning. I can't even talk now. So let's go to File Open. So Command and O, and I'm going to go to the one that was on my desktop. So let's go to Timelapse Javaland and click on Open, and that is going to open it. You can load in your photo sequence into Photoshop and do it that way, but I've already got this time lapse ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do, and if you can't see this timeline box at the bottom, just go to Window and down to Timeline. If I uncheck it, it will go off like that. So go to Window and Timeline, and if it's all ready and complete like this, it will open up automatically. So this is the box at the bottom. You can see it's a kind of bluish color, and at the end there is like a play icon. So if we click on this play icon at the end of the box here, end of the timeline, you'll see the option that gives us. And it gives us a duration and speed. Well, we want some different options. So the way to get them is to go into the layers panel on the right hand side and right click on the layers panel, and you want to convert it to a smart object. And once you've done that, it will go to a purple color. And by the way, this is the first method. It's very quick and simple. It's a bit of a dirty way of doing it, and it's not ideal, but you can get a sort of desired effect doing this way, and we'll go through the second way in a moment. So if you click on this play icon now, it will give you this tab that says no motion on it. But if you click on the drop down menu, you get some options: pan and zoom, pan, zoom, rotate, rotate and zoom. So we're going to go with zoom just for this demonstration. And we're going to go to zoom in. You can check it to zoom out, but we're going to zoom in due to the fact that I haven't resized the canvas, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So we're going to click on zoom. We're going to make sure it's zoom in and it's anchored in the middle, and we're just going to press enter, and nothing's happened now, but I'm going to go through. If I press a space bar, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's going to render, but if you can see, it's going to zoom in step by step, and obviously it's trying to render at the same time, so it's not going to be very smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to render this. So I'm just going to pause that. I'm going to render this now. So click on this small arrow on the left hand side to give you these options, and I'm just going to change this to test number 1, and I'm going to leave everything else as it is, and I'm just going to click on render. So I will pause the video while it's rendering. And there you go, it's exported to the desktop. So let's go and have a look. Nothing will happen in Photoshop, but let's go and have a look at the desktop. So this is the original one. Let's just click on this one again. And you can see it's just taken with my GoPro. You got the clouds moving, nothing else is happening. I've literally just sat my GoPro down on this kind of wooden beach thing. And now let's go to the first test and let's see what happens. So now we've clicked on it, you can see it's zooming in slowly and in a really nice controlled manner, and actually that looks quite nice. I quite like that. And all I've done is that few steps in Photoshop. It literally takes a couple of seconds and you get this nice motion of zooming in. So let's talk about if you want to zoom out or you want to pan from left to right. You can do it, and there's a few other steps to take. Now if you want to pan from left to right, let's just go back into Photoshop and I'll try and demonstrate what I mean. So here we have the full-size image, and I'll try and explain what I mean for the panning or zooming out options. So this is the full resolution taken by the GoPro camera. So if I just press V on the keyboard and then I try and, if I'm going to hold shift and I try and drag the image. So as soon as I move it, it's going to show you behind the layer and have the original layer in Photoshop exposed. So if I tell the image to move left to right, it's going to move this way, and that's no good because you're going to see the canvas on the back. So we don't want that. So what we can do is we can resize the canvas to give you a bit of leeway so that the image can move, and you can do it automatically, but I've got a better way of doing it in my opinion. So let's give it a bit of extra canvas. So let's go to image, canvas size, and let's go into pixels, and let's go let's take off 150, so go 3690, shall we? Let's try that. 3690, and you'll get a message come up saying it's going to be smaller, clipping will occur. Okay, proceed. So now if I do the same again, so press V on the keyboard, I'm holding shift and I can drag to the left, and it gives you that bit of room. See what I mean? So we go Command T and free transform it, we've got this extra room on the right here. So I'm just going to move it into roughly the middle, and then we can decide where we want the image to go. So I'm going to put it onto, let's go the other way, and then we can move it to the right. So let's go there. I'm holding shift, so that's good. Let's press enter, and now let's just click on the right just one time to get rid of that, and down as well to get rid of that. Okay, so that's our starting position. So now if we click on this triangle, the play icon, we're going to go to motion, same as we did before, and now we're going to pan. Click on pan, and then it's going to give you the direction you want to go, and we want it to go to the right. I think we leave it like that. So let's click on enter, and that's moved it over because the resized to fill canvas was checked. So that's fine. And so now I'm going to press the space bar, and you'll see the canvas and the image moving to the right. Obviously it's really choppy because it's trying to render it at the same time. Let's just do that again. And I'm going to render that now to show you the effect. So again, I'm going to pause the video, click on the arrow at the bottom, and I'm going to call this test 2. And I'm going to pause the video again. And there we go, that is now exported again to my desktop. So let's have a look at this one. So again, this is the original one. Let's have a look. Nice clouds moving, people shooting across the top there, along the sea. That was it, nothing special, looks okay. And then we've got the second one, if I can find out where I've actually put them on my desktop. So let's have a look at this one. This was the zooming in, I think. Quite a nice effect. Again, I do like it. It just adds that extra dynamic. It just makes it look really cool. And then this one is the panning. Now I know the quality of the images aren't the best, but it does look like it's on a kind of slider, you know, and we've done nothing like that. It's just a few steps in Photoshop. And so then you can combine that in Photoshop, zooming in and panning with the same method. However, doing this method, you've got no control about the time, about how slow you want it to pan, etc, etc. It's all decided by Photoshop, and maybe there is a hidden menu that I don't know about. Please leave a comment if there is, if you know about it. Obviously, if you click on this one, you get the options, you get these options, and that is it. You just leave Photoshop to decide how fast or how slow or whatever. But you can do it a different way. So let's start this again completely. And let's just reset this timeline. So if I just bring the timeline back to the beginning. So this one now, I believe, is with these options on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. In fact, let's just shut this down completely. And I'm going to go Command O to open. Desktop, and let's go to the Timelapse Java land. Let's have a look. MP4. Okay. So this is the original one. If I press the space bar, it's just the time lapse, nothing else is happening. And that is it. Okay, we've got something to start with. So I'm going to put the timeline back at the beginning. I'm going to go and right click again and change it to a smart object. You don't have to do that, I don't think, for this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now we're going to go onto the left hand side and we're going to click on video group 1, this small arrow, and you get these options on the left hand side. You've got transform, opacity and style. Well, we want to concentrate on transform. So first thing we're going to do, make sure the playhead is back to the beginning, and we're going to click on this little stopwatch, and you get this marker at the beginning of the timeline. Now this is where, as the image is, that is kind of recording that state of the image. Now what we're going to do, we're going to move the playhead to the end. I'm going to make sure it's right at the end. And now we're going to transform. Let's just bring this back in here. Okay, and now we're going to transform this image. So we're going to press Command or Control and T to bring up the free transform box. And we can actually zoom in. So let's zoom in. So holding Shift and Alt or Option, I'm going to click and drag to zoom in a bit. And there we go. And now we've got this extra room on either side. We can even slide it over a bit. So I'm going to hold Shift so the image doesn't move off the axis, and I'm going to move it this way. Just that far. and I'm going to just press enter. So what we've done is we've zoomed in a bit, and we've moved the image from right to left, and when we pressed enter we got another marker. So we've got this starting point at this end, and the image zooms in and slides over to the right hand side on this end. So if I click at the beginning and press the space bar, it might be glitchy, but you get the message, you get the image moving, you can see it, you get the idea. That's what the phrase I was looking for, you get the idea. But of course, let's render it and give you the proper outlook. So again, the bottom arrow here, and I'm going to click on here and call it Javaland Test 3 and click enter, and you've got it now. I'm going to pause the video. So now that's exported to the desktop. Let's have a look, and it just gives you that extra dimension. So it's zooming in and it's panning slightly just to the right. Now it's not much of a pan on that, but you get the idea, you get the gist of what you can do just to make your time lapses that extra little bit interesting. Now Photoshop is obviously faking the whole process, but I think this technique just makes everything look better. All the time lapses look better, and now this isn't the perfect time lapse as an example, but it gives you the idea of how Photoshop can improve your time lapse. So hopefully you've learned something. Give it a go, add that extra dimension to your time lapses. Please leave comments, and if I get enough comments and views, I will maybe do a whole video of bringing the whole time lapse into Photoshop, the whole image sequence. And this was just used with a GoPro, so I may use the other camera, or I may just use the GoPro. Now you can take a time lapse with raw photos using the GoPro Hero 5. I might just do that. So look out for that if I get enough comments and likes and all that stuff. So please subscribe to my channel. I'm getting quite a few subscribers now, but a lot of people are watching my videos and aren't subscribing, so hit the subscribe button to see the latest videos. I really do appreciate it. But for now, that's all for me. Take care, and I'll see you next time.